The house felt wrong with people in it. I told myself it was just adjustment. 12 months a widow, finally selling the family home, buying something smaller. My son said a housewarming would be good for me. His wife offered to host. I stood in my own kitchen while strangers touched my counters, and I tried to feel grateful. Clara brought me the wine herself. She smiled, wide-practiced, the smile she'd used since she married my son 8 years ago. The smile that never quite reached. This is for Dad, a new beginning. The glass was already in my hand before I registered the words. For Dad, for my dead husband, for the man whose pension she'd quietly borrowed against last year. Whose tool should she cleared out before I could decide what to keep? I looked at the wine, deep red, too heavy in my hand, then a tug at my sleeve. My granddaughter Lily, 6 years old. She didn't speak, just looked up at me with her father's eyes, my son's eyes, the ones he'd stopped using to really see me years ago. I bent down. "What, sweetheart?" She opened her mouth, closed it. My son appeared beside us, laughing at something someone said. He took the glass from my hand. "Mom doesn't drink much anymore. I'll take this one." He drank it in 3 swallows. Lily's hand tightened on my sleeve. 30 minutes later, the screaming started. Not all at once. First, a woman near the bathroom, my son's colleague, someone I didn't know. She backed out of the hallway saying his name wrong, saying it like a question. Then his wife's voice, sharp and rising. Then the sound of him hitting the floor. I found him in the hallway outside the bathroom. Knees first, then hands, then his whole body tilting sideways. His face was red and wet. His mouth open, but nothing coming out. Clara was kneeling beside him, but she wasn't touching him. She was just there, hands frozen above her own lap, making noise that wasn't words. Someone called an ambulance. Someone else opened the front door and stood there like air would help. Lily found me again in the crowd. She didn't cry, just pressed herself against my leg and watched her father on the floor. At the hospital, Clara performed. I watched her from across the waiting room, the way she cried into her phone, the way she grabbed nurses by the arm, the way her voice went loud enough for everyone to hear how worried she was, how she kept glancing at me between sobs, checking if I was watching. I was watching. A police officer came, young, tired, asked routine questions. Had anyone given my son anything to drink? Had I seen anyone near his glass? I told him about the wine, about Clara handing it to me, about Lily tugging my sleeve. He asked to speak with Lily separately. Clara's head snapped up. For 1 second, the crying stopped. "I'll come with her," Clara said. "No," the officer said. "We'll have a family liaison officer with her. You wait here." They took Lily into a small room down the hall, glass walls. I could see her sitting in a chair too big for her, legs swinging, face serious. She talked for a long time. When she came out, she walked straight to me. Not to her mother, to me. Climbed into the chair beside mine and leaned against my arm. Clara stood alone near the water fountain. The officer came over later, asked if I had anywhere to stay tonight, said they'd have more questions in the morning. I looked down at Lily's head against my arm. "My granddaughter can stay with me," I said. Clara started walking toward us, fast, heels clicking on hospital floor. "She's my daughter!" The officer stepped between them, not dramatically, just there. "Right now she stays with her grandmother. We'll talk tomorrow." Clara's face did something I'd never seen before. Not angry, not scared, just empty, like someone had pulled a plug and everything had drained out. Lily didn't look up. 3 days later, they charged Clara with attempted murder. The wine glass had her fingerprints. The bottle at home had traces of something her search history couldn't explain away. My son survived damage to his kidneys, months of recovery, a permanent quiet in his eyes when he looked at his wife. But that's not what I think about. I think about Lily's hand on my sleeve, the weight of it, how she pulled me back from something I couldn't see. I think about sitting in the hospital waiting room, her head against my arm, neither of us speaking. I think about the way she chose. Last week, she moved in with me. Just temporarily, everyone says, while things settle. But last night, she came into my room at midnight, climbed onto my bed, lay there in the dark without explaining. I didn't ask. Sometimes children know things before we do. They feel the wrongness before we name it. They tug sleeves and wait for us to understand. I understand now. Her hand is smaller than mine, but it holds on like it knows exactly what it's saving.